The most unusual part of how I make chicken soup is putting the whole chicken in the pot, boiling it, not boiling it, bringing it to a boiler, simmering it for about 2 hours. You can do more. Also, I've done 3 hours. And then I wait for it all to cool. And when it's nice and cool, I pull the chicken out. I pull out the bones and the skin. One way I think about it, though, is I don't actually think about pulling the bones and the skin out, although you can do it that way also. I actually sort of think of it more as pulling the meat, if you can see this, pulling the meat away from the bone, and I drop it into a bowl with only meat, and then as I come across pieces of bone and skin, I drop those in either a separate bowl or straight into the garbage if I pull that over. And I keep the actual meat going into the designated bowl, and I really do think about it as pulling the chicken away from the skin and pulling the chicken away from the bone rather than the other way around. I don't know why thinking about it that way makes it feel more efficient, but it does. And then as I get rid of all of the stuff that I don't actually want to eat, when I have finished pulling everything out and I have a bowl full of chicken here and probably a garbage with all the bones and the skin in it and tendons and stuff, then I put this bowl of chicken back into the broth that is left. Also, I will let this sit overnight in the refrigerator, and after letting it sit overnight in the refrigerator, sometimes I'll just boil it and then simmer it for 2 hours and then put the whole thing in the refrigerator overnight and really let it get cold. And when I do that, there's then the fat rises to the surface. It's actually like a hard, sort of a harder surface on top. Then I will just pull that fat off and put that in the garbage so as not to eat quite so much fat, and that makes the soup less oily. But in the meantime, besides that, I'm just pulling meat away from the bone and then putting all the meat back in to the broth.